So today's topic is becoming a full-time Etsy seller. Etsy is a great platform to sell on, and so here's some of the things you need to do in order to become a full-time seller on Etsy if you want it to be your full-time income. So the first thing is the assumption is we're going to start with what the assumption is that you do know a little bit about Etsy, that you do actually maybe have an account, maybe you've dabbled in playing with Etsy. So you've created your account, you've at least created one listing on the platform, and you kind of are familiar with the platform, but you really haven't mastered it. So in order to become a full-time seller on Etsy, the first thing that you need to do is you're going to have to definitely learn the platform. Learn what's required, learn what the guidelines are, what the rules are, what their policies are, what reports are available to you. If they have any performance matrix, you want to make sure that you know what is required as a seller for that platform in order for you to keep your account active and not get yourself in trouble. You also need to understand what their listings for that platform pretty much look like. You'll notice that the listings that are on Etsy don't necessarily look like the listings that you might see on Amazon or on Walmart. The listing looks completely different. So again, you need to learn the platform. Okay. And you can join eCom Sellers Academy if you want to learn the platform and what is required to be able to sell on Etsy. The next thing is you need to know what you can and cannot sell and identify your niche or niches. You may decide that you want to sell multiple niches because you have the opportunity on Etsy to do print on demand, but you also have the opportunity to sell many, many other products. So you need to figure out what your niche or what your niches are going to be, because on that platform you have the opportunity to make full-time income if you focus on a specific niche. Most of those people who get a lot of sales and make a lot of money, they do have a specific niche. It's not random. So like on Amazon or on Walmart, where you can do retail arbitrage and you can sell a variety of different products in order for it to become your full-time income. On Etsy, you're going to have a better chance of making it your full-time income if you focus on a specific niche or niches or specific area. So know what you can and cannot sell and also identify the niches. Number three is you need to know your numbers. You need to know your sales stats. You need to know the income that is required in order for you to keep the lights on and keep water coming out of your faucet. So how much money do you need to make? And you also need to know the cash flow. So if you're doing print on demand, then you need to know, okay, what your margins are going to look like. How much do I have to sell this thing for in order for me to make enough money in order for this to start to become my thing? So, what's your minimum, at a minimum, the lowest number you can go as far as income generating revenue? What's it going to look like? What's that cash flow? Do you have to spend any money in order for you to make money, or can you immediately start taking money out of your business? I will tell you, if you're doing print on demand on Etsy, you have a better possibility, unlike selling on Walmart or Amazon or even eBay, of making money with minimal investment into it. The investment amount is much, 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 much lower, because of the fact that if you're doing print on demand. Now, if you're selling other products, because they do allow you to sell other products and you need to learn the platform, then you have to have that cash flow to be able to invest in inventory and then be able to list those items and make money off the items that you're selling. But you do need to know what your sales stats are. The number four is you need to be able to volume, create a volume selling listing. So an example of that is selling more bundles or group listings, so that way it increases the opportunity for you to increase your average order value. Again, your margins may be different because if you're using print on demand, the shirt or hat or canvas may cost you, the amount that it may cost you is maybe around 12 to 15 or 18 bucks. So that means you got to sell it higher than that to even make enough money. And you may have to, in order for you to be able to do that, selling volume, selling groups, selling bulk is your best opportunity. Doing personalization. So you've got to create a volume selling plan so that you can increase that average order value up and increase your numbers and what you can, what you're going to be selling. So selling like 10 t-shirts just individually, you'll make some money. But if you had 10 orders of bulk orders of t-shirts, like maybe you were selling to bridesmaids or you were selling for a family reunion or something like that, And so you're selling like 15 or 20 or 30 shirts and you had 10 orders like that, that's going to make you a lot more money than selling 10 individuals. Don't balk at the individuals, because again, if you've got a niche that people are in love with or passionate about, you can make a lot of money with that singular niche and not selling bulk. But again, you want to create a volume selling opportunity for yourself. And you got to have a marketing plan for that. You know, what are the keywords? What do the listing needs to look like? You got to have that, even if it's not a paid marketing plan, a traffic and organic traffic plan for those listings, so that the right audience will find your stuff. So you got to have that plan. Some of the things that we do is kind of go and look and see if we're selling bridesmaid shirts, if we're selling family reunion, or we're selling something that's more in a volume quantity type of listing, like pajamas or something like that, then we might go look at what our competitors have listed to try and get some inspiration on what we can do to help our listing. But again, that's just one idea of many. Okay. And the next thing is you need to master the art of a good listing, creating a good listing so that you can get that organic traffic. So you've got to get better at creating your listings. The listings on Etsy do look different than the other platforms. So you need to know what your listing needs to look like, so that, and you don't want to be identical to everybody else because then you don't stand out, but you need to know at least like your listing that like you would create on Walmart does not look like the one on Amazon. So again, you got to master the art of a good listing. You got to get good at the keyword research and the titles and the tags. You got to get good at all of that in order for you to get the organic traffic that you want. And your timing is extremely important as well. What is it that audience, when do they come online to find those types of things? You know, when are a lot of weddings happening traditionally? There's weddings that happen off season too, but what's the wedding season and when are you putting up those listings so that you have a better chance of getting those sales? You know, when is family reunion season and when are most people buying or looking for that kind of stuff? So again, your listings already exist and have already been out there in the universe for a while. Next, you need to develop and implement a good customer service and fulfillment, order fulfillment strategy. So if you're doing drop shipping or you're doing print on demand, then you've got an order fulfillment strategy, but you do need to follow through to make sure your sales are getting shipped to your customers. You definitely got to do that. But the customer service on you, so you got to respond to your customers in a timely manner. You want to make sure that you follow up, and hopefully you'll start to get some reviews. I will say Etsy customers have a better chance of getting reviews organically sorry, than any other platform. I think it's sort of a natural thing to do. People don't always do reviews for Amazon. They don't always do reviews for Walmart. But they do like to do reviews for Etsy for whatever reason. So again, putting together a really good customer service strategy. Maybe there's a way in which you send the product out to your customer. Maybe there's a special note that you do a follow-up, like maybe you do an offer to them, whatever. You need to figure that out, but you need to have a plan or a strategy to be able to do that. Next, you need to establish routines and make sure that you're organized and that you stay consistent. Establishing a routine, creating a schedule, creating a plan. What's your plan going to be? Is your goal to create 40 new listings every single day, 5 days a week? Is your goal to create 20 new listings? And did you put together a schedule so that you have the ability to do that? So, do you do 1 day a week where you do niche research and keyword research and title research and color research and all that other stuff? And then, maybe the other 4 days, you create 40 listings a day or 20 listings a day. So again, you need to put together a schedule and have established routines that are going to help you to get that traffic consistently. Much like every other platform, the platforms like it when you are consistent. When you're consistently listing, you have a better chance of getting more views to your listing versus being random and haphazard. I create one listing this week, and then next week I create 2 listings, and then the following week I create no listings, and then 3 weeks from now or 4 weeks from now I create 2 listings. Like, that's very random. And yes, those could all be volume listings, but the reality is, again, the platform does like for its sellers to come out there. They want the algorithms on all these platforms want to be able to showcase your item. So if you do everything to make that listing amazing, it's going to help you to get more eyeballs on your listing, which increases your chances of getting more sales. So again, establishing routines are going to help you to be way more consistent. You got to get organized. Again, what's your process going to be, and figure out what you need to do. Put together a schedule so you can stay consistent. The next one is to be a full-time seller. You've got some things you may need to outsource and or streamline. So outsourcing could be to a physical person, or it could be to a piece of software, or it could be to a service, any of those. So you may need to buy some subscriptions to be able to help you to rank your listings, or to get find the keywords, or figure out what your competition is. So you may need to buy some software to kind of streamline that research and make it much faster for you. You may outsource some of the activity to a VA and let them go out there and do some research for you, and then you come back and you produce the products, or you let the VAs go ahead and create the designs for you and create the listings, and you go and tweak them. You can decide how you want to run your business, but again, scaling may be one of the things you decide you're going to outsource. And outsource to a VA, or outsource to a service, or outsource to a piece of software to help you to be more efficient. And then last but not least, you do need to pay attention to the administrative side as an Etsy seller, much like any other platform. Sometimes people let the administrative side of the business just fall to the wayside. It's not as heavy of an administrative side, especially if you're doing print on demand on Etsy, than it is on some of the other platforms. Although if you're selling physical products that you're making, or you're listing, or like physical products that have to be shipped out, maybe you're making candles, maybe you make wooden toys for kids, whatever. So managing that inventory is one of the things you need to know. What are your bundle opportunities? Making sure that you know what your stats are, paying attention to the stats, paying attention to the seasons and the ebbs and flows of the data. So the administrative side, you have to embrace that in order for you to get your business up to a place where it can produce full-time income for you. So I hope all of this is helpful. I hope that you go back and listen to this and you share it out with a friend, and that you look at what you're doing. If you're an Etsy seller right now, you want to be an Etsy seller, kind of gives you some insight into what you need to do in order to be consistent, and what are the areas that are going to help you to be able to make more money so that it can become your full-time gig. You can tune in to our other series. And like we said, we've gone through Walmart, we've gone through Amazon, we've gone through eBay. I think the next few series is going to be Poshmark, Mercari, and Shopify. And then we will move on from there. So please share this out with a friend. Let somebody know about this series. Someone somewhere wants to become a full-time Etsy seller, or just a full-time e-commerce seller. And they've got to know that consistency is one of the keys, is paramount to becoming a full-time seller on any platform. Consistency. So with that, I hope you have an amazingly blessed, extremely focused, and highly profitable and productive day. We're going to say goodbye for now.